Hello and welcome. I'm JR, and you are listening to Three Things with JR. I've got some really exciting things to share with you, but some of them are not ready for prime time yet. They're not official. I'm not allowed to share them on social media or publicly in any way yet. So stay tuned. By the next episode of this show, I should be able to tell you what has me so damn excited for 2025. There is a third announcement that I can share with you right now. This one I'm a little bit more nervous about, though. Shannon Arts is a nonprofit community theater in Stanton, and they are putting on a benefit concert featuring local talent singing songs from Broadway musicals that they would never actually get to sing in the actual shows themselves. It is called Roles I'll Never Get to Play. And when I saw the announcement for auditions for this concert, there was one song I immediately thought of that I wanted to perform. Now, as you know, I'm a big fan of Hamilton, and as anyone that has taken a road trip with me in the past 8 or so years knows, I know all the words to all the songs. And I sing them and I rap them at the top of my lungs with all of the feeling and energy and passion that I can muster while seated and strapped into my car. Now, there's a couple roles in that show that I might be able to play. And if Hamilton were to ever get released to community theaters, it won't likely happen soon enough for me to benefit from it. So this is my chance to show the world, or at least the fine citizens of Stanton, how well I can do Hamilton. So I will be performing my shot from Hamilton in this concert. Now, if you know Hamilton, then you know this song features several characters, including Alexander Hamilton, John Lawrence, Lafayette, Hercules Mulligan, and Aaron Burr. And yes, I will be singing and rapping all of the characters. That's why it's a role I'll never get. Even if all the cards fell in line in place and I had the opportunity to be in Hamilton, it could happen. I probably wouldn't be Alexander Hamilton. I probably couldn't pull off George Washington, but I could be Hercules Mulligan for sure. Because he also doubles as what's his face? Adams. No, not Adams. Who does he double as? Whatever. In the second act, he's a different guy. I could be that guy too. Yes, I know all the words. I didn't forget them all. But I am both super excited and extremely nervous to be performing this. There's a lot of words, and they come at you fast. And I just hope I do it justice. Hell, I just hope I don't screw it up. And if you want to see me perform that song and a bunch of other people performing songs that they would never get to perform in the actual shows, go to shannonarts.org to get tickets. The show is Friday, February 28th. That's the performance I'll be singing at. There's a second one, which will be a lot of different performers on the next night, Saturday, March 1st. So there you go. Okay, I got things. Thing number one. Joy. I refuse to let an absence of joy become my way of life. This last month has been challenging. And it seems like it's only the beginning of 4 years of the worst America has to offer, running the country into the ground. But I remain joyful and determined to bring joy to others. Last year, Gary and I did a full season of Small Things Considered, all about the election. And in each episode, Gary would point out that democracy was on the line. And the Democrats kept pointing out that democracy was on the ballot last November. It was all we heard at the convention and beyond. And you didn't have to read much of Project 2025 to know that that was true. Still, I never fathomed entirely the immediacy of the chaos we are seeing now would even be possible. I was naive. It's obvious to me now that in 4 years, we may have a very different country. Will our Constitution even still be a thing? Will we still have the freedoms this country was founded on? Will our country fail? And what can I do about it? I am not going to spend my time writing and calling my congresspeople, my senators, etc. For the most part, they're part of the problem. The Republican ones for buying into all the bullshit, and the Democrats for screwing up the election so bad that Trump got the majority of votes. He didn't beat the Democrats, they beat themselves, and we are all paying for it. Those politicians that are left-leaning and are still installed, they know what they have to do. They don't need me to write them and tell them. The people that need to be fighting are the very people we elected on the left, the local government officials, the judges, state representatives. But even they will be unable to stop this red wave for the most part because they're outnumbered in every arm of the federal government right now. So, wow. For the next 4 years, what I'm going to try to do is live my life the best way I know how. I am going to continue to say what I want to say on this and all of my podcasts. I'm going to play music with my band for anybody that wants to listen. I'm going to attempt to perform on stage in musical theater and in whatever other ways I can for audiences that want to laugh and smile and feel something. And I truly hope my efforts feed your soul because they sure as hell feed mine. When it all comes together, when I do get to perform for an audience and I see those smiles and feel the joy, when I'm busy doing this stuff, I don't have time to ponder our current predicament. If I did, joy would be scarce, and I cannot allow that. There's a few more things I can do. Despite them being a completely ineffective form of protest, I do them anyway because I feel better. When I can, I will not be supporting, mega companies that support Trump and are buying into the regime's misguided efforts to fix our country. So what does this mean? So it's actually next to impossible to avoid companies or to avoid supporting or patronizing companies that are going all in on red. For example, I won't be parting ways with Google or Apple anytime soon, despite their giving millions to Trump and their rollback of important DEI initiatives. They're renaming the Gulf of Mexico in their Maps apps. It pains me a little to feel so stuck using these companies. I want to put my wallet where my mouth is, but as my friend and coworker Chris Mullins pointed out, I'm not going to change my way of life for an ineffective protest. I really want to get off Facebook. Zuckerberg supporting Trump and rolling back very important DEI initiatives and no more fact-checking and all that bullshit. But God, quitting Facebook, it's like quitting smoking. It is an addiction. The algorithm struggle is real. And Amazon, damn it. I want to watch the next season of Reacher more than I want to send a message to Jeff Bezos that he won't receive anyway. So what can I do or maybe even stop doing? Well, here's what I've got so far, and it's a pretty short list. I will no longer be shopping at Walmart. That one's an easy one to avoid. Walmart kind of sucks now and is sure to only get worse as its coffers grow, while its workforce gets less diverse and more dependent on Walmart. I've spent many thousands of dollars at Walmart, but I won't be again anytime soon. It's Wegmans for me, baby. X, I quit Twitter many months ago. It also kind of sucks. I'm on Blue Sky instead. And for now, that's it. And yeah, that's pretty lame. It's all I can come up with, though. So the main thing I'm going to do is to continue to work hard, to play hard, to bring joy and be joyous, despite the shit show going on around us. And in 4 years, if, and this is a big if the skeleton of our country is still standing, if we are lucky enough to have yet another fair election, maybe the Democrats will have formed a resistance that we can all get behind. There are some people out there that could lead the charge. We need another Obama. Maybe the governor of Maryland is that guy. Been reading some good things about him. I think his name is Wes Moore. Maybe there's someone we haven't heard of yet that will rise to the challenge. I am truly hopeful that can happen despite the Democrats' past failures. So in the meantime, go forth and bring joy where you can to who you can for as long as you can, and I'll do the same.
Thing number two.
Emilia Perez, or Emilia Perez on Netflix. It's nominated for all the Oscars. It's already won many awards. It's got a lot of buzz, both good and bad right now. It was filmed in France, but it portrays Mexico. However, the very few Mexicans were involved in the production, and by many accounts, it kind of missed the mark. The lead actress has said some things that were kind of ugly in the past. She's had to dip out of the promotional limelight of this movie. And I had heard all this before I read the description of the film. Netflix describes it as a genre-defying crime thriller musical. And, well, that sounded appealing to me, so I watched it. It's incredible. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. There is no other movie to compare it to. And the criticisms I have read of this movie, Emilia Perez, not doing a good job of portraying certain types of people in a good way, I think those criticisms kind of miss the point. It's not trying to tell the story of an entire group of people. It's not trying to be political or make a point for the left or the right. It's about a few individuals and their story of being reborn in their own way. Some of them by choice, some of them by circumstances beyond their control. And what do these people choose to do with their new lives? It's about not being able to fully lose who we are at our core, despite monumental efforts to make that happen. It's also freaking beautiful. The original music, the choreography, the surprises, the individual performances are outstanding. However, it's a weird movie. It might not be your thing. I suggest you go into it with an open mind, ready to read subtitles, ready to be surprised, ready to reflect on who you are, and are you living the life you want to live now? If not, what can you do about it? And even if you aren't vibing with the movie itself, keep watching till you get to the moment you were not expecting. You'll know it when it happens. And if you don't find yourself curious to see the story through to its conclusion from that point on, then yeah, just go watch Kinda Pregnant. It's also a good movie.
Thing number three.
A few months ago on this show, I did a thing about how stupid Nike was with their digital marketing, sending me emails asking me how I loved the shoes I had already bought, found to be the least comfortable shoes I had ever put on my feet, written a review that made that plain as day, set up a return, returned them, and got an email confirming their receipt of the horrible shoes. Even after all that, they wanted to know how I loved the shoes. Well, it happened again. Totally different story, totally different situation, but the same basic thing. Let's talk about doing taxes. I'll go back in time a little ways to set up this story. Back in 2017, I was doing my TurboTaxes at home on TurboTax, and it was looking like I was going to owe money. So I got bummed out. I didn't complete the forms. I figured I'd think about how I was going to deal with that. And so I thought about it, and I thought, and 4 years later, I decided it was finally time to do my taxes. But I was about to go out and figure out how to do 4 years worth of taxes. So I called up a local tax accountant, and he assured me he could take care of it. And take care of it he did. He got all of my previous year's unfiled taxes filed and got me refunds for every year. I was shocked. I didn't ask him too many questions about how he did that. I just paid the man. And every year since, I've been paying him around $140 or so to do my taxes. I email him, I upload the forms, I pay him, I get my refunds. This is how easy doing my taxes needs to be. But this year he raised his prices. The price of everything is going up, and I get that. But what's it going to be? I'm reading the email from my accountant who's saying prices are going up. I'm like, oh no, what's it going to be? $160, $200? I can handle that. I would still just pay that so that I have to think no more than 5 minutes about my taxes. But no, the new price is $450, and that is just for basic taxes. I emailed the guy. We emailed back and forth, and he was super nice and was making a logical business decision, but he made it clear that he thought I would be better served by TurboTax. So I went back to TurboTax. And you know what? TurboTax is even easier than ever, especially for a simple return like mine. I have one W-2. I got one job. I got no side income. I just take the standard deduction. I'm done. That's it. That's all I want to do. So I had TurboTax complete my federal and my state returns, and it turned out to be completely free because that's the deal this year. They have a deal. If you switch to them from some other tax preparation service, then basic taxes were free for both federal and state. Deal. Done. They said I'd get my refund in about 3 weeks. I got it in just over 1 week, federal and state. I couldn't have been happier with the experience. So, why on earth am I still getting emails from TurboTax letting me know that if I switch to them to prepare my taxes, it'll be free this year? And why on earth, when I log into Credit Karma, is it showing me ads for TurboTax to do my taxes, get my refund, even offering me some early refund access? TurboTax and Credit Karma are both owned by Intuit, and both companies, Intuit, Credit Karma, TurboTax, it's all one big thing. They have my vital info, my name, my address, my email, my phone number, my social. Intuit, Credit Karma, and TurboTax should all know that not only have I done my taxes using their service, but I completed the process, got my refunds, and I mean, they should know all of that. They should even know that I've already spent the money. Why don't they know that? Why am I still getting contacted to do my taxes? Now, I don't mind digital marketing in general. I get emails from most of the companies that I do business with. I don't put those in spam. I like to be reminded about the existence of the companies with which I like to do business. But when they put their stupidity on full display like this, it really makes me doubt their competence. And we hear all this talk about AI. Why aren't these companies using AI to be smarter? Or just, it doesn't even seem like AI is necessary, but it's out there. Why not use it to be smarter? And then today at work, I think I figured out why they don't use AI to be smarter. I asked ChatGPT to make me a simple picture for a presentation I was doing at work. I wanted a red prohibition circle, like a no U-turn or no diving, that red circle with a line through it. And then I wanted one word written in the circle. The word is unfortunately. My presentation was all about things to avoid saying on a call with a customer. And unfortunately is one of those things that I suggest our salespeople don't say because it sets a negative tone, right? It sets you up to think, oh, it's going to be bad news. So unfortunately, don't say it. That's the message I was trying to convey. And I wanted an image to go on the screen that was simple, red prohibition circle with the word unfortunately crossed out in the middle. I asked ChatGPT to create that, and it almost did. The prohibition sign, the red circle with the line through it, looked perfect in the first version that ChatGPT churned out for me. There was only one problem. The word, unfortunately, was horribly misspelled, like comically misspelled. So I complimented ChatGPT on the overall look and feel of it and asked it to do it again and to spell the word correctly as I had typed it. So it had an example of exactly how to type the word correctly. ChatGPT apologized. It begged my forgiveness and churned out a second version, assuring me that they had fixed the mistake. Yet again, though, the word was misspelled. Differently, but still misspelled. We went back and forth, ChatGPT apologizing for the mistake, promising to do better, then continuing to fail at spelling the word as I had typed it. I gave up after 6 tries. Oh, and not only was the word continue to be misspelled, but the red prohibition circle just got worse and worse and worse every time. So maybe I get why Intuit is not using AI to make simple connections that would help their digital marketing intelligence. Unfortunately, it cannot even spell. So yeah, maybe not. Well, that was a lot. Are you still listening? If so, thank you very much. I'd love to hear from you. Shoot me an email, comment on the podcast on Spotify, or send me a message in whatever way you can. I'll be back next week with a new episode of Small Things Considered with my friend Gary. We will definitely be featuring another band you've never heard of, and we'll consider some other small things. Peace and love to you all.
It's a brand new day. It's a brand new day.